On Monday, Mumia Abu-Jamal spoke with Noel Hanrahan of Prison Radio Project about the passage of the so-called Revictimization Relief Act in what could be one of his final media interviews for some time.
Amazing when you think about it, because on two fronts, I should say. Of course, the first front is constitutional. I mean, this is a blatant, naked violation of Article 1, Section 7 of the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, which specifically grants the right of free speech to all people in the Commonwealth. And, of course, the Constitution of the United States, which fairly recently, in the Snyder v. Phelps case, you remember the preacher who went around to funerals? Well, he caused, I think, a great deal of emotional distress to veterans' families. This is what the U.S. Supreme Court said in Snyder. They said that the First Amendment trumps emotional distress. That's recently, and that was an 8-1 decision. Look it up. But what's more important to me is this, that during their discussions, right, that I've heard about, I didn't hear it, I don't have access to a computer, members of the General Assembly of Pennsylvania said they did not hear the speech, did not know what the speech was, but in any event, it was for a judge to determine whether it was unconstitutional. These are people who took an oath of office to protect and defend and uphold the Pennsylvania Constitution and the Constitution of the United States, blatantly acting unconstitutionally in office. That's one point. Here's the second point. This is theoretically or reportedly based on emotional distress. Think about being a student at Goddard College when police, by the hundreds and threatening these students at their graduation with rape, murder, assault, attacks. These are police writing emails, calling on phones, threatening administrators and students. How about their emotional distress? And all they wanted was to hear from one of their alumni. I went to that college. I'm a part of that college. I spent years at that college as a student. And when I went back and graduated, I am a part of that college forever. And they wanted to hear from me. They called and asked and wrote to me and said they wanted to hear from me. So I think those things should be a part of your considerations.
That's Mumia Abu-Jamal speaking from prison in a phone interview recorded Monday by our guest Noel Hanrahan of Prison Radio, who we'll talk to in a moment. This is another clip from their conversation when Mumia Abu-Jamal expresses concern that Pennsylvania Governor Tom Corbett would sign the so-called Revictimization Relief Act in order to benefit politically.
The press ignores prisons as a rule. Most of what happens in prisons are never or rarely reported in the press. I would say this, if you wish, read Live from Death Row and find out this book that was written years ago. Find out how true it was, how accurate it was, how many of the states that began this hellacious mass incarceration are now decarcerating because their budgets are busted. You know, we're talking about a bill, again, let me kind of rephrase this. This is a bill that is signed into law by unconstitutional Tom Corbett, probably the least popular governor, Republican governor, I might add, in the United States, who is facing a virtually unknown opponent who has 20 to 25 points on him, right, at last count. This is a political stunt by a failing politician who is seeking support by using fear, right? Politicians do it all the time, but this is unconstitutional Tom's latest attempt to stroke and build up his political campaign, his failing political campaign. When you asked about the press, for most of the press, prisons don't exist, right? Silence reigns in states all across the United States. But I went to court. I was forced to go to court by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and I won in a case called Abu-Jamal versus Price, which gives me the right to write. Now they're trying to take away my right to read my own writings. How unconstitutional is that?